I'd like to taste a real Italian coffee, please.
Real Italian coffee.
Did you just say real Italian coffee?
Real Italian coffee?
What?
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 Sofia Milan, what is a real Italian coffee for you?
For me, Italian coffee is espresso, with no sugar, no milk, nothing, only coffee.
A pure one. Fantastic. So, today we are talking about Turin, and we are here with Sofia Milan. Sofia, introduce yourself. What is Sofia Milan? Who's Sofia Milan in one sentence?
I'm a freelance translator and copywriter, and I mainly work with marketing and tech teams, and so for e-commerce with German and English into Italian. So I work with transcreation and a lot of marketing stuff.
Fantastic. So marketing is exactly what we want to talk about today, and we want to learn a little bit about your city, which is Turin. What does it mean for you, Turin? What is Turin today for you?
For me, it's like a place that has something to offer to everyone. It's like a very good mix of old and new. So Turin was the first capital of Italy in 1861, but now it's like very like the technological hub where you can find like very innovative companies and events as well. So you always like walk in the city and see this double soul, like old, new, historic, and innovation. And I really like these multiple souls of the city.
Fantastic. What is the difference between Turin, Piedmont, it's northern Italy, and Milan and Rome?
For example, from Rome, Turin is not that crowded, not that chaotic, for example. Like Rome is also experiencing over tourism, and Turin is like attracting a different kind of tourism that is also related to event, for example. So it's like very different. And from Milan, it's still like very similar in the way we live. So very like fast and performative way of living, but we are very like disciplined and structured, and also like simple and clear. And this is something that I think comes from the layout of the city itself, because it's like in big squares. And so, for example, if you walk in the city and you turn right for 3 times in a row, you come back at the
That's the same place.
Yeah. And so I think that this layout is something that influences people in Turin, and we are this structure and precise.
Turin is said to be a walking city. Tell me a little bit about what are the secrets of Turin and how's it structured. You talked about the city structure. There's one thing, it's called Portici.
Portici. Yes, because the king, of course, decided to connect the main buildings, like the theater is houses around the city, with portices that are actually walkways, like covered walkways. So he could reach these buildings if it was sunny or if it was raining without like getting wet or being under the sun for like some meters. So this is like something that I really love in Turin, and I miss when I go in other cities because of course you can go around the city center always like well covered. And but city is also like a walking city because everything is like very reachable in the city center, so everything you need is really close. And I say like close, and it's building for human.
Sofia, what is your favorite place in Turin? Where do you love to go?
Well, I love to go to Quadrilatero, and this is like very close to the city center, and it's full of bars, cafes, restaurants, but it's like more very multicultural because it's close to Porta Palazzo, that is the biggest open air market in Europe, and it's very multicultural. You can find foods for everywhere in the world, but there is like this area of the city that is also like full of restaurants, museums, also activities like restaurants that are also, or like cafes that are also bookshop, so where you can really feel the city, and it looks like a small town inside a bigger city.
How would you describe a typical person from Turin? Is there a typical person? And if so, how would you describe them in a couple of sentences?
I don't think there is a typical person in Turin, but also because Turin is also like an underground city. So yeah, you can like find fancy people because Turin is also very old and fashionable. So reminds of like Paris sometimes, so you can see like very fashionable people, but also like the most like underground, so that love street art and go skating. So I think that is, you can also see this double soul in people, where you can see like very fancy and also like very street art people.
So when we talk about the DNA of the city, we can't forget about big brands for marketing, or like big brands from the city. What comes to your mind first? Lavazza, we have already seen.
Exactly, Lavazza is the headquarters is in Turin, so we are very proud of that. And it's they renovated the headquarters, so now it's very innovative and big. And they also like organize events that connect the city and coffee. So it's really, like as said, very innovative. Turin is very innovative also for that sense, because like Lavazza is so big, but it's still like doing a lot for the city and for the people living in Turin. Then if we just move a little bit far from Turin, but just like 1 hour, there is Ferrero and the House of Nutella. Everyone knows that.
I love it. I'm German, I have to love it.
And actually chocolate is the number 2, like after coffee, love in Turin. We put chocolate everywhere, so we have this special chocolate that is gianduiotto, and that is made of nuts and chocolate, and also we have this special drink, is hot drink, and it's made of coffee, of course, and chocolate and milk, and that is bicerin. But if we move to the innovative side of Turin, we find Fiat, so now is Stellantis, because Turin was one of the biggest most important cities for automotive industry, and still is actually. And still from innovation, we can find, for example, OGR, that is an innovative hub, and close to OGR you can also find the business incubator. So Turin is like very important for innovation and technology, or like high tech.
There's this big tech fair happening in Turin every year, right?
Yeah, exactly. In October there is this. It was Italian Tech Week, so where all startups meet, but also like the big tech companies, and discuss on like nowadays on AI and the impact of AI in every industry and in every sector. And so also like Sam Altman was there last year, but also, for example, Ursula von der Leyen. So also it's a mix where because AI is also a institutional topic, so everyone has to deal with it. So it was like very inspiring.
Talking about AI, that brings me to our second block of our interviews here on Hyperlocal, which is about you and you as a translator, transcreator. How important is AI nowadays, and what trends are you observing in your field of business?
Well, AI is definitely like shaping our industry and is something that we just can like move on and take apart, but is like part of our daily work. I'm happy with that because I think that AI is more of a tool, so something that can booster my activity and my performance or makes things quick but still as a tool. So it helps me, for example, with terminology or to find ways of saying the same thing but in another tone of voice, for example, or in other words. So it helps me in this little step of my job, but still it is a tool. So my knowledge, my expertise, and also my my skills are still higher and valued inside the industry. So I really feel that also the clients need my opinion about a project. They want to find a solution together. They really trust my expertise, and knowing what AI can do inside my job, or knowing the processes behind the use of AI also help me with clients because I can explain better how to implement AI inside processes and to show what can work and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I think this part of bringing AI, incorporate AI in our day-to-day life, that is something we all need to learn somehow, but little by little we are all getting a good deal of using it as a tool and offering a lot more value, right?
Exactly, and also like offering a different service. You know, you are more a consultant rather than just a translator, let's say, because you then like talk about communication and strategies. So you have like this wider view on a project, and also like on communication, on marketing as well, because you can work on bigger projects. You have the full view.
Absolutely. Sophia, your latest project, what are you working right now? On what are you working right now?
Well, I've just like finished, but I'm not finished because it's still in a work in progress on this travel guide from this association I'm working with. Because we are now working on the English translation, but we did the Italian one, and I was in charge of the copy reviewing and also to make the language more gender neutral, so inclusive. This travel guide is more like tips for women traveling alone. So it gives like tips for the mind and also practical tips what to do before leaving. And so we've been working for a year, and now we are publishing the travel guide, and I'm also presenting it at the International Book Fair in Turin.
Wow, congratulations. I'm sure that will be a huge success, especially as the topic is very important. What made you, what were the main challenges with inclusive language for such a project?
Yeah, it's, like Italian has like female and male, so these differences, and it was like really try to find a way to do not use too much symbols, and so to find a way to say the same thing but very gender neutral. So rather than like viaggiatore e viaggiatrice, but find like persone che viaggiano, so people who travel. And so it was like not that hard because every time you enter like into this mindset of being gender neutral, like if you use it like every day, you try to use it every day, and it's something that it comes very easy. But still, like for 100 or 200 pages book, it's something that you have to see that the process is coherent along the book, because of course it's like 120 pages. So this is also hard, like to keep coherent for the entire project.
Does AI help you with that?
Well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes just like brainstorming, or yeah, to find a way to say the same thing. Probably because I said it too much time, one expression, so I want to find a new way. But it's still like very brainstorming, because then I use my expertise and my knowledge and my sense of like adaptation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sophia, what do you recommend a translator, a young translator coming into the industry? One thing, one skill they should acquire?
Critical thinking, for sure, especially in the era of AI, because you have to understand what works and what not, and also like critical thinking for yourself, because you have to understand how the processes are going and how the industry is moving, and so what you can really do inside the industry and how can you really bring value. So if you have a critical point of view and you like work on that, you can make the difference inside the industry and also make the difference for the client.
Yeah, there's a lot of consultancy happening, I think, where local knowledge is super important, where the feedback from the translator to the LSPs or to the end client adds a lot of value, right?
Yeah, exactly. I also like encourage to talk and to explain the processes, like what's behind the scenes of localization, and yeah, move like more as a consultant rather than just a translator, and share like what you did, and also what didn't work during translation, because probably there is something that isn't working, and you can like talk with PMs or clients, explaining what you found and what you want to optimize for their project. And I think that if you show how can you really help inside their project, clients will surely choose the human
The human input, right?
exactly, because
Got
they
you.
see your point of view and that you are really a value, like a big value.
Yeah. Sophia, we have already talked a little bit about the city. One thing is important here, because this is also Lock Lunch Espresso. So how important is the food culture in Turin, and how good fits in Lock Lunch?
As every Italian, we really enjoy to have lunch together, because of course we like to talk about food at lunch, at dinner, like every time. So every time we can talk about food, we do. And also like we love to share our lunches with other people, because we like to talk and to also like share insight of the industry. So also like a work lunch is really inspiring. We work alone, but then we really try to bring people together to have lunch and to share one of the things we love most, that is food.
What is like the one thing that stuck in your mind from a Lock Lunch? What has Lock Lunch meant to your network in Turin?
For me, it's like building a strong relationship and work friends. So people that I can really consider as work friend, because I can talk with them and share my ideas, or also doubts about the industry. So where there's like very inspiring conversation, and where everyone can help each other, and also like have the time to laugh and talk about everyday life, so things that only translator can understand, but can also affect our everyday life. So, for example, also talking about food or finding houses in Turin, how hard it is. So it really becomes like a very friendly atmosphere, and this is something that I think people keep coming back because of that.
Are you more into aperitivos or aperitif or dinners or lock lunches? What's happening there?
I think everything. Because
Everything.
well, aperitivo could be very like nice because it's more relaxing. You don't have to go back home, and yeah, we also enjoy aperitivo. And then one of the vermouth is also in Turin, martini. So we also enjoy aperitivo because we have our aperitivo. But yeah, I like the atmosphere of both moments. So lock lunch is like friendly, and aperitivo is like more relaxing, let's say.
Absolutely. What mindset should people bring when they come to a lock lunch?
I think the being supportive, because of course there are people like the lock lunch community in Turin is very wide and different. So people that work in different industry and at different like levels, so entry level, mid level, senior level. So it's good like that everyone can give something to each other. So give something of themselves to each other and help people that has just entered, but also people that are inside the industry for a long time but are experiencing a shift, and so they maybe need a younger point of view, let's say, because I think that everyone can have a different point of view that can be helpful for each other, no matter the age or the experience you have.
Absolutely. Sofia, one last question. What is your favorite dish? Italian dish, Turin dish.
Turin
you
dish?
would recommend me.
Well, you have to try vitello tonnato.
That is? Describe it.
Is meat. I don't eat meat, but this is the best one you can have in Italy, in Turin. And so it is meat, beef, but cooked in a specific way, so lower temperature for a long time. And then there is this sauce that is made with tuna and mayonnaise, and you serve it together. And it's very, very delicious, and it's vitello tonnato because of tuna.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Sofia, thanks a lot for being here on Hyperlocal to open the doors to Turin, a fantastic city, hidden city, sort of, in Italy, but not lacking of intensity, of energy. And yeah, it was a pleasure. Guys, I hope you have learned something today about Sofia, translator, transcreator, and of course about the city of Turin, Italy, and you enjoy it. And we see us in the next video about a new city. Sofia, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. See you guys.